ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਰਸ਼ਦੀਪ। ਤੇ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪਲ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਚੋਣ ਮੈਦਾਨ ਉਹ ਪੱਕ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ। ਪੂਰੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਾਹ ਲਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਵਧੀਆ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਟੁਡੇ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਇਨ ਖਾਸ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ Paul Hillsdon, who is a graduate of both UBC and SFU, TransLink's south of the Fraser Rapid Transit project planner. He's a strong advocate for the substantial development of funding, member of the Surrey Leadership Youth Council, and he will elaborate more about the LRT and SkyTrain concept, because ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ concept ਹੈ ਲੋਕਾਂ 'ਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ confusion ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ LRT ਵਧੀਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਸਰੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ SkyTrain ਵਧੀਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਵਿਊ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ। ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਆਉਣਗੇ LRT ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਕਿ what they are going to do if some issues are coming, if LRT is coming in Surrey. So let's welcome him on the show.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good.
How's
Final
the
days
campaign
of
going?
the campaign. Feeling good, feeling positive.
If I'm talking about yourself and why you selected the TransLink and the future in TransLink, and how you feel about it, and why you are councillor, why you're running for the councillor.
Well, I think this election we have a really big decision. To me, it's very clearly a choice between the past and the future. And I was born and raised here. I grew up here in Surrey, and over the past 10 years under Diane Watts and then Linda Hepner, I think there's been a shift in the way that we think of ourselves as Surrey residents, and there's kind of a newfound pride of living here. And there's been a very positive vision for the city, and I certainly believe in that. I'm happy to continue that legacy, and a big element of that actually is both our transit and the way that we grow as a city. And so I think as a city planner I have a lot to contribute to the table, and so that's why I'm happy to run with Surrey first and run in this campaign.
That was my question, that why Surrey first? Like, why you choose that team to be part of the team? So Surrey first, they are stressing on the LRT. They just want LRT to be in Surrey. So what is your vision? You were from the starting where you study the whole project. What is your vision on that?
Sure. So I should clarify to begin. So I do currently work at TransLink on the Surrey LRT project as the project planner. But during the campaign period, I am on an unpaid leave, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the organization. But I do work there because I do support the project personally, and I really believe in the vision of it. And the LRT concept goes back almost a decade. And before I even worked on the project, I was a community advocate for better transit since I was a teenager. Because I knew, or I learned very early on, that our transportation infrastructure shapes the way we grow, and so much of our challenges has to do with Surrey, of growing on the edges where we don't have our schools and our parks, and we're always playing catch up, right? And as a young person too, I care very much about climate change and reducing our emissions and getting out of our cars. And so, we haven't had rapid transit investment for 30 years. And the concept behind LRT was, we needed to find a system that really worked well for the unique circumstances of Surrey. There was a study that began back in 2010 where TransLink, the City of Surrey, the City of Langley's, the province, they looked at over 1,000 different combinations of routes and technologies, and there was extensive community consultation comparing all these different alternatives, and they narrowed it down round after round after round. And ultimately they came to the conclusion that LRT was the best option, not just to move people around the city, but also to shape the city. There's often kind of this idea, well, if we just put more buses, that'll solve the problem. But buses don't shape a city. They don't shape development. And so LRT is really a combination of kind of the best of both worlds, where we get trains and we're able to connect almost all of the communities in Surrey. and we also shape the way that we grow well into the future. And I think the challenge has been that because it takes so long to do the planning, the analysis, develop the business case, and get the province and the federal government to put up $1.65 billion for the first phase, I think a lot of people maybe have forgotten about all the steps along the way and all the consultation that has happened. But the reality is that the checks have been signed, the project is approved, it's a solid business case, and the project's going to market. So our position in this election is this is a long time coming. Now is not the time to say pause or cancel or change. We need to move on with it. We need to get it built. People have been waiting for a long time, and then I think once it's operational, I think a lot of folks will understand it, they'll get it, and they'll be clamoring for more LRT. Absolutely.
So ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ LRT ਆ ਉਹ ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਸਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਹੈ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਇਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰਾਊਡ ਵੱਧ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੋਕ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਚੋਂ ਉਤਰ ਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਾਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਉਤਰ ਕੇ LRT ਨੂੰ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਨ ਐਵਰੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ LRT ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ 5 ਮਿੰਟ ਦੀ ਵਾਕਿੰਗ ਡਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਤੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਬਜਟ ਅਪਰੂਵ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦੀ ਕਿ ਪੌਜ਼ ਲੈਣਾ ਪਵੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਰੁਕ ਜਾਵੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਜਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੇ ਇਹ ਅਪਰੂਵ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸਕਾਈ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਜੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਅਸਰ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਸੋ Paul, I explain what you said, but the issues are coming from people. They don't want, as you know, LRT. Instead, they want a SkyTrain. So SkyTrain, did you discuss with the other cities like the Langley? They approved the LRT project, or what is their vision?
Yeah, no, actually, so like I said, there was a process that began back in 2009, 2010, where Township of Langley, City of Langley, City of Surrey, with the province and TransLink, they all sat down around a table and went through, again, 1,000 different combinations of technologies and routes. And the conclusions from that were put into what's called the Mayor's 10-year plan, a 10-year vision for transportation, which was approved in 2014. And that envisions actually 2 phases of LRT, one on King George and one down Fraser Highway. The project we're working on now is phase 1. It went through a detailed reanalysis through the business case where it confirms basically that LRT is the right option. Phase 2, Fraser Highway, it's going to have to go through that process as well, and it will compare, buses, LRT, and SkyTrain. But we should wait for that process to occur, and that's going to happen in the next few years before there's any decision on what is the best technology for the ultimate solution on Fraser Highway. So there is still very much a possibility that if we do have SkyTrain in the city somewhere, it probably will be on Fraser Highway. But I think the key is that certainly in this election, if you talk to any of the 8 mayoral candidates, each and every one will have their own idea for transit. Some want the interurban, some want buses. One guy wants an elevated monorail. I think the issue is that we shouldn't be, making billion-dollar decisions based on politicians' whims. It should really be based on technical, professional analysis and planning and engineering. And that's where our position is. Let's let that process happen, and then we'll see what happens for phase 2.
If I talk about the case study, like you study the whole project from the route, you know what is going on with the TransLink, because Surrey is a growing city. Every month, 1,000 people are coming, and it's so crowded. So if you will elaborate the basic key things about the LRT, that will be
sure.
awesome.
Just kind of how it works and what are the advantages.
Yes.
Sure. So phase 1, the LRT on King George and 104, it's going to connect Guildford and Newton to Surrey City Centre on an L route. It's going to connect over 200,000 people within a walking distance of these stations. And how it works is actually the trains run in the middle of the street. There's a lot of misconceptions about this, but they will not be interacting with cars. They have their own lanes, they're curb separated, and that's what allows them to have a reliable and fast travel time because they're not mixing with any cars. You know, one of the problems right now with the buses that operate on the route is at rush hour, they get stuck in the traffic too. And so what should take, you know, a 30-minute ride takes over an hour. And so with the LRT, we're going to be able to always have, you know, whether you're coming from Newton or whether you're coming from Guildford to Surrey Centre, 10-minute ride. Great. It's walk on, walk off, roll on, roll off, because it's at the street level. We don't have to deal with elevators or escalators, which, as a lot of people know in SkyTrain, they're always breaking down. And we have more stations closer together, so it creates more vibrancy along the route, and it will actually encourage redevelopment. So there's significant benefits, and LRT actually operates in over 400 cities around the world. So it's a proven technology, very successful. You think of cities like Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, Gold Coast, Australia, or even Abu Dhabi. And then there's lots of examples that are closer to home. You know, Portland, Oregon has a system. Seattle, LA, all across Canada, they're building LRT. You know, Calgary, Edmonton, Waterloo, Toronto, Ottawa. They all have LRT. So it's kind of interesting. I think the challenge here in BC is that we've only had SkyTrain, so that's all that people are familiar with when they think about transit. But as I said, the studies have been done. The system will be successful in Surrey, and it really meets the needs of Surrey. We know that the biggest challenge is not getting people from Surrey to Vancouver, because 80% of people who live here are staying here. They're just moving around Surrey, and so that's really what the LRT is all about. It's connecting our communities within Surrey to one another.
ਸੋ ਪੌਲ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ LRT ਆ ਉਹ ਸਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਜੇ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਮਝ 'ਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਕਾਈ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਬਟ ਦੇ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਡੂ Surrey people work in Surrey. They don't want ਕਿ people ਹੋਰ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਜਾਣ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ। ਤੇ LRT ਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਨਿਊਟਨ ਗਿਲਫਰਡ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ ਉਹ ਵਿਚਾਲੇ ਜਾਊਗੀ, ਸੜਕ ਤੇ ਰੋਡ ਦੇ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣੂਗੀ। ਸੋ ਇਨਕਮਿੰਗ ਐਂਡ ਆਊਟਗੋਇੰਗ ਟ੍ਰੈਫਿਕ ਇੰਟਰਪਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਸੋ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਆ ਕਿ ਵਿਚਾਲੇ ਬਣੂਗੀ, ਉਹਦਾ ਆਪਦਾ ਰੂਟ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਸੋ 10 ਮਿੰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2000 people can be on the LRT at one time, right? So ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਸੋ ਅੱਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ, but it's time for a commercial break and then we will be right back. Welcome back after a short break. We are talking with Paul Hillsdon, who is a project planner for the LRT, and he is giving us the whole idea what LRT is, why it's good for the Surrey people, why SkyTrain is not there for people. So he is giving us whole information about the LRT. So Paul, before break we talked about how it will work, but some people have issues about they want to know that the LRT is safe or not, because we have some incident in Calgary that people have an accident with the LRT. People are running into the LRT and then some people dead due to that. So what is the safety concern?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to be clear that safety is obviously the #1 priority. From certainly the city's perspective, TransLink's perspective, we wouldn't be building a system if it wasn't safe. And as I said before, it operates successfully in 400 cities around the world. And that's, you know, whether that's Europe, whether that's North America, it is a safe system. There are a variety of different design elements that actually make it safe. So one of the things that I think there's maybe some confusion about is, you know, how does it work at intersections? And basically we know from kind of an engineering perspective that when you separate out the different users, so the cars, the bikes, the pedestrians, the transit, and you control the movement, everything actually becomes a lot safer. So right now there's a lot of mixing. So the buses are kind of in and out of the traffic. Cyclists, they're on a painted bike lane on the road, which is very dangerous for cyclists and for cars. And the sidewalks and the crosswalks actually aren't maybe as designed as safe as they could be. So when the LRT comes in, it's actually the whole road will be rebuilt. So the trains will come in the middle, then there'll be the 2 lanes of traffic, and then the bike lanes will be separated behind new boulevards with trees, and the sidewalks will be wider. And so all the movement will be separated, and everybody will have their own space. And at the intersections, all movements will be controlled. Right, so the trains will have their phase, and the traffic will have their phase, and that eliminates or significantly reduces the points of conflict. And it's always the points of conflict where accidents can happen. So the project is using best practices from all around the world, from different systems. What works? What do we know is going to be successful? And there's lots of studies from other places around the world where actually LRT has less accidents than buses. And how often do we hear about a bus being in an accident, right? But at the end of the day, no system is perfect. And cars are in accidents all the time. Bikes, pedestrians, transit. SkyTrain breaks down quite a bit, right? Whether there's a suicide and from a project perspective, from an engineering perspective, we have to do as much as we can, both from a design and an education perspective, to ensure that people understand how to use it and how to interact with it and how to be safe. But I'm very confident that it will be safe. Yeah, absolutely.
Because safety is the priority,
Yes.
and some people, they just had an idea that SkyTrain will be built on the sidewalks. So they don't know the SkyTrain is going to be in the middle. So as you mentioned, the traffic lights, how it will work, the traffic lights?
Yeah. So it's a little tricky. It's harder to understand. Just speaking about it, it's always easier to show some images. And there are a lot of examples and visualizations on the project's website, which is surreylightrail.ca. So I would recommend people go look at that if they want better examples. But currently, left turn lanes, for example. People can sit in a left turn lane and then wait for that yellow light, right? And that's when they're going to cut across traffic and go. Well, the left turns will all be controlled. So when it's green, everybody goes. When it's red, you don't. You wait. And so that, again, eliminates points of conflicts. But basically, when we're going down King George and the lights are green, the train is moving with traffic. And then when it's red, it stops and the cross traffic goes, right? But it's using smart technology, smart signaling technology to optimize the traffic flow, to make sure that the trains are running on time, and to make sure that the cross traffic runs on time, right? And it works, again, as I said, in many cities around the world. Yeah.
And if I'm talking about the construction, if the project will be in implementation throughout after, when it's going to be start, and the construction will be there in the whole city, so how you guys going to handle it? Because you need rebuild all the roads, all the sidewalks, so how will you manage it?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different things there. Number one, so the project is already out to market. So it is a P3 project, a public-private partnership. So they're looking for private companies who have experience in both building and operating these systems that are going to come in. And there's lots of interest from the private sector already. So the current time frame is they'll go through a process over the next year to choose that group of companies, and then they will begin their detailed design and construction in 2020. So it's not very far off, just over a year away. And then the system will be fully operational by 2024. But most of that construction will occur in kind of a 2-year time frame. And there's actually already construction underway. Bear Creek Bridge near 88th and King George, that's what the project calls an early work. So it's expanding that bridge, getting it ready for LRT, and anybody who's been there will actually kind of understand how the construction will work, because it'll shift people over, and you'll have to kind of slow down on and be safe in that construction area, but traffic continues to move, right? We're not losing any lanes. And so there will be a bit of an impact, but I think, you know, after we get through that and we manage it as best as possible, people are going to be very happy with the outcome. And another part of that is also providing alternative routes. So I know that the city has made a lot of investment in expanding some alternate corridors. So like 100th has been expanded, so to relieve pressure off 104. And I know that 140th and 132 are going to be expanded for the north and south. So if you don't need to be on King George, you have an alternate route during construction. And there'll be long-term benefits for having those roads widened for long-term as well too. So it's all been thought out for quite some time, and now it's just a matter of delivering and getting on with it.
If we're building SkyTrain, then we need more money than LRT, and you said you already have a budget. If let's suppose in future this project will not initiated or not implemented at all, and then you guys are moving forward to SkyTrain or some other Translinks, and then what will be the issues, and the money will go to the government back, or what will be the idea then?
So I mean, I think it's important to be clear that you know, back in September, when the Premier and the Prime Minister came to Surrey and they made the final funding announcement to say this project is approved,
yes.
And we've put up $1.65 billion to make it happen, that it was for the Surrey LRT project for Phase 1. And that's because they require a business case. They require planning and engineering and studies to be done to justify that expense. And so when we're talking about SkyTrain or any other alternative, again, there hasn't been that detailed analysis. There hasn't been a business case. So when some candidates are suggesting that, you know, they will just snap their fingers and move it over, it doesn't work that way, and that's a promise that they cannot deliver on. You know, as an advocate who's been pushing for transit for over 10 years, the biggest hurdle that we've always had is funding, because these are huge projects that cost billions of dollars. And there was a preliminary cost estimate for SkyTrain on Fraser Highway, and it's $3 billion.
$3 billion.
$3 billion. So even if the money could be transferred, which it can't, we only have half the money. Right? And that's without a business case, any additional planning, which will again take a number of years to get into place, by which point the cost will have gone up again. So, I mean, we have a historic opportunity here, first time in 30 years for rapid transit expansion in Surrey. And we know that Vancouver wants to keep expanding the subway all the way to UBC. The North Shore wants to expand rapid transit. Delta wants a $3 billion replacement for the Massey Tunnel. There's only so much money to go around, and losing this opportunity would be a significant risk and downside to the city.
What's the level of support?
Well, I know that there have been you know, folks in the community and politicians who say the majority do not support the project. But it couldn't be further from the truth. Actually, there has been a number of scientifically sound surveys over and over and over again, every single year, that shows the majority of people, both in Surrey and the Lower Mainland, support the project. Actually, there was one that came out today, just before the election, that again said that around 70% of folks in Surrey support it, and 80% of folks in Lower Mainland support the LRT project. So
only the 30% or 20% they just don't have idea like how beneficial the LRT is.
Yes.
And any other concern about the LRT from your side, LRT?
No, I mean, I think, as I said before, like, this is a historic opportunity. It's going to have long-lasting positive changes for the city, both in terms of helping reduce congestion, getting us moving, providing an actual alternative to cars, something people here have been asking for a very long time. It's going to reshape the way that we grow and create a more vibrant, affordable, safer city, a place for people of all ages. It's going to create, it's going to be a safe system, absolutely. And you know, people have been waiting for a long time. We need to move on with this. We need to get it built. Let's see how it works. And I'm confident, as I said before, that people will love it, and they'll be wanting the next one as soon as we open.
Hopefully, we hope that that will be a good project for the Surrey. for the counseling votes, for the voters, why people vote you?
Well, I mean, I think, I've been active in the community for a very long time, since I was a teenager in various ways. I've been an advocate for a more sustainable city, for expanding our transit, for building our infrastructure, and for kind of building the city in a new way. And I have the experience and the background, the professional experience to back it up. As a city planner, who better to speak to those issues than somebody with the experience? And it's very rare for somebody on city council to have that type of experience. That's most of what a city council does, is they approve development applications. So I'm excited about the opportunity to bring that experience to council tables and to keep moving our city forward. And I think I'm a strong candidate to do so. So I hope people go out to vote this Saturday and support myself and the Surrey First team.
Thank you so much and giving us the detail about the Alert project, and hopefully it will be beneficial for the city and for the voters. What you want to say to the voters again?
Please get out on October 20th, this Saturday, and vote for Paul Hillsdon and Surrey First.
Thank you so much and good luck for your team. Good luck to you, and hopefully the project will be good for the city.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you
for
so much.
having me.
Thank you so much. So, ਇਸ ਹਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ Paul Hillsdon, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ LRT is a good project for the city, ਜੋ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੂਗੀ, ਵਿਚਾਲੇ ਜਾਊਗੀ, ਆਸੇ-ਪਾਸੇ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ongoing ਤੇ outgoing traffic ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ bother ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੂਗੀ, ਕਾਰਾਂ ਉਸੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ। ਸੋ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਜਦੋਂ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ bother ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗੀ, 4 ਸਾਲ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਗ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਬਣਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਸੋ 2020 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਤੇ 2024 ਤੱਕ ਇਹ ਚੱਲਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ। ਤੇ ਬਜਟ ਦੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ 1.65 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਜਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ। ਟਰੂਡੋ was in the city before, and then he approved the budget. So budget is there on the table. So ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਨੀਸ਼ੀਏਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਿਕ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸਿਟੀ ਵਿਲ ਰੀਸ਼ੇਪ, ਸਿਟੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਊਂਟ ਹੋਊਗੀ। ਤੇ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਜੇ ਸਕਾਈ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਦੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ $3 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਸੋ ਹਾਫ ਮਨੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਟੈਕਸ ਪੇਅਰਸ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸੋਚ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਕਿ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਸੋ ਜੇ ਇਹ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤਾਂ $1.65 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਵਾਪਸ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਕੋਲ ਚਲਾ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਰੀਸ਼ੇਪ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਸਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਿਟੀ ਬਣ ਸਕੇ। ਡਾਊਨਟਾਊਨ ਕੋਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਵੀ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਸੋਚ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ, who will be the best for the city, and ਘਰੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਉਣਾ, do vote, it's your fundamental right। ਬਾਹਰ ਆਓ, ਵੋਟ ਕਰੋ, ਵਧੀਆ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਚੁਣੋ ਤੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਸਾਂਝਾ TV ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਿਓ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।